we're going to go ahead and set up and solve this spreadsheet. And this is an example we did in class. And here are our variables. We can just plug in some numbers, doesn't matter what they are, solver will change them. And we're going to set up our objective function and our constraints. So when you sum products, everything has to be a function of our variables times, we want to reach the most reach the most patients, so we're going to do a sum product, hit enter. The number of EMTs depends on the number of crews times the number of EMTs per crew. And likewise, the number of EMTPs or paramedics is going to be a sum product, again, of the number of crews and also the number of EMTPs per crew. These are less than or equal to the number of EMTPs and EMTs available, which are 10 and 5, given by cells B4 and B5. So we want to set the vehicle constraints in the same way. Here, the number of ambulances is equal to the number of BLS ambulances in F3 plus the number of ALS ambulances in F4, F3 and F4. And the number of QRVs is just equal to F5. So that makes everything in green a function of the variables. And as with the staffing constraints, the number of ambulances available is going to be equal to B8. The number of QRVs available is going to be equal to B9. And hit enter. And at this point, the model is set up and it's ready to solve. Let's go to the Data tab, Solver, and we're going to set this up. So our target cell is going to be our objective. It's going to be F8. Maximize is already selected. The changing cells are going to be the variables, F3 to F5. And I should say that there's a newer version of Solver, and it does say objective and variables, and it looks somewhat similar. The wording's just a little different. Let's go ahead and add some constraints. We're going to add the staffing constraints by selecting F12 to F13 as less than or equal to H12 to H13. We'll go click Add because we want to add a second set of constraints, the vehicle constraints. F16 to F17 is less than or equal to H16 to H17. And we're done here, so we'll click OK. And you might have a box that says non-negativity. Go ahead and click that. And go ahead and click Simplex LP algorithm. If you have the older version like me, you have to hit Options, have Assume Linear Model, and Assume Non-Negative. So look for Linear or Simplex. And then go ahead and solve the model. And here we can see that this matches the solution we got in class. We want to keep this solver solution, hit sensitivity, and click OK. And we'll want to make sure that we have the sensitivity worksheet will turn up here.